Coming up tonight on YCN News, conservative writer Dinesh D'Souza and liberal activist Bill Ayers debate at Dartmouth College. Governor Maggie Hassan has a Republican challenger for the 2014 race in November. And I complete my ski lesson at the top of the mountain at Mount Sunapee. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Crowds gathered last night in the Spalding Auditorium at Dartmouth College to hear a debate between two political activists known for their radical positions on the left and right. Dinesh D'Souza, a New York Times best-selling author and alumnus of Dartmouth, brought a conservative perspective, while Bill Ayers, a retired professor at the University of Illinois and co-founder of a revolutionary anti-war group from the 60s, brought liberal views to the podium. The topic for discussion: what's so great about America? Both D'Souza and Ayers gave valid and heated comments on the matter. YCN attended and was able to speak with both debaters afterwards. Let's hear from them now.
I would say that we're seeing a powerful move toward an Asian century, which is not something new. It's actually a restoration of the way the world used to be. For China dominated the world for 1,000 years. And that seems to be something that is coming. It may even be somewhat inevitable, but the decline of America is not inevitable. Decline is a choice. And America can be in the game and in the leadership and always take the pleasure of knowing that the Chinese are succeeding with our formula. And we don't mind if they succeed with our formula as long as they use the formula of wealth creation and not conquest. That's the summary of my foreign policy.
You know, I think that hope is a choice and a politics. I have hope for a simple reason, which is I don't know how things are going to turn out. I'm a work in progress in a moving history, a dynamic moving history. If I knew how things were going to turn out, I'd either be an optimist or a pessimist. And that's why I criticize both optimists like my mother and pessimists like some of the kids who were here. You don't know how it's going to turn out, and if you go back 10 years, none of what we've seen was predictable.
Thanks to Dartmouth for hosting, and thanks to both D'Souza and Ayers on their intelligent remarks and commentary. Governor Maggie Hassan will have a Republican challenger in the November 2014 gubernatorial race. 31-year-old Andrew Hemingway announced on Thursday he intends to win the seat. Sullivan County Chairman Spec Bowers confirmed today that Hemingway seeks to capture the office held since 2012 by Democrat Hassan. Hemingway is an entrepreneur and political activist, reports the Concord Monitor. For the first time in several years, the Claremont Fire Department's staffing level will return to pre-recession levels. That's because earlier this month, Fire Chief Rick Bergeron learned the fire department was awarded a $500,000 plus federal grant. The $552,264 award is for 2 consecutive years. The grant will cover the salaries and benefits of the additional hires. It does not provide for uniform costs or equipment. Bergeron told Claremont City Councilors Wednesday night that the grant restores the base firefighting shift to 5 employees instead of 4. Officially, the grant is known as the SAFER Grant. Beyond the 2 years, there is no automatic renewal of the award. But, says Bergeron, the department could win a 3rd year of funding if its grant application is approved. This time, the grant would focus on a fire department's hiring of U.S. military veterans. Bergeron says the city's fire company has 2 qualified applicants who are veterans. The Claremont Fire Department is one of the few career fire departments in the region. There is room for a firefighter to advance through the ranks to captain, lieutenant, or chief, Bergeron noted earlier. A state trooper early today used a taser to stop a 26-year-old man from eluding arrest on a felony drug charge. Fairhaven, Vermont resident Louis Tobin tried to run away from Trooper Matthew Steves while being questioned during a motor vehicle stop. Steve stopped Tobin for a motor vehicle violation at 1:37 a.m. on I-91 in Westminster, Vermont. The trooper suspected Tobin of drug possession. Tobin fled and Steves ran after him. Steves and Tobin physically struggled. Steves stunned Tobin with the taser gun. Steves found 42 bags of heroin on Tobin, an amount that puts the charge at felony level. Tobin also is charged with both attempting to elude and resisting arrest. He is scheduled to appear in Windham County Court on February 3rd. Tobin is being held on $25,000 bail at the Southern State Correctional Facility. 2 members of Vermont's congressional delegation will hold a town meeting tomorrow to discuss government surveillance and citizens' privacy rights. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative Peter Welch will be hosting the community forum at 1 p.m. in Montpelier. The Saturday, February 1st meeting will be held on the 2nd floor at Montpelier City Hall. City Hall is located at 39 Main Street. Joining Sanders and Welch are Georgetown Law School professor David Cole and National Lawyers Guild Executive Director Heidi Bogosian. Cole and Bogosian are 2 of the country's leading experts on civil liberties. The meeting comes after reports of the National Security Agency's eavesdropping on Americans' private phone and internet conversations. Privacy and a person's individual rights under the U.S. Constitution are at stake, Sanders says. Welch also has been outspoken on the insertion of NSA spying on Americans' daily lives. After the break, we'll hear about a great place to go for your Super Bowl snacks, and we'll finish my lesson at Mount Sunapee.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. A registered sex offender in Vermont is again under arrest for sending indecent photos to a 15-year-old. 36-year-old Brian Clark of West Paulette is scheduled to appear in Rutland Criminal Court on March 10th, Vermont State Police report. The State Police Special Investigation Unit charged Clark on Thursday with sending text messages to the teenage female. The texts contained pictures of a man's genitals. State Police learned of Clark's involvement during their investigation. The charge facing Clark carries a maximum imprisonment of 1 year in jail or a $1,000 fine or both. Clark was convicted in 2003 for sexually assaulting a female victim. The victim was younger than age 16. She was from Rutland County. On a related note, an online listing of convicted sex offenders can be found at www.communitynotification.com/Vermont. At this site, you can sign up for email alerts about sex offenders who are living in a specific community. So far, it's been a cold and snowy winter. Not that that's unusual for New England, yet it does pose some challenges. The challenge to keep warm and the challenge to pay for keeping warm. New Hampshire's 2 U.S. senators announced today that $3.3 million in LIHEAP funds are available. Democrat Jeanne Shaheen and Republican Kelly Ayotte say the Federal Department of Health and Human Services released these funds. Ayotte and Shaheen wrote a letter last week calling on the HHS to release the low-income heating assistance funds. To many struggling Granite State families in need, this assistance is critical as our state continues to experience bitter cold weather, the 2 senators wrote. The total federal funds for the LIHEAP program this year is $169 million. This amount will be distributed among New Hampshire and other states. On a related note, New Hampshire State Fire Marshal William Degnan reminds all residents to take care when starting a fireplace fire. For the past 20 years, the leading cause of home structure fires has been directly related to wood-burning appliances. Whether it's a wood-burning stove or a traditional fireplace, proper maintenance is key for safety, Degnan says. Homeowners must do whatever is necessary to protect their lives and property, writes Degnan. Checking appliances and chimneys is one of those things that everyone must do. It's just as important as checking your dwelling's smoke detectors and buckling your seatbelt before turning on the motor vehicle's ignition, Degnan adds. There's a good reason why being indoors this Sunday may be the best place to be. It's Super Bowl Sunday with the AFC's Denver Broncos facing the NFC's Seattle Seahawks. If you're looking for the right snacks to enjoy or serve guests, consider Ramunto's Pizza and Italian fare.
Joining me now is Kelly Wiley. Kelly's going to tell us about the Super Bowl specials at Ramunto's restaurants. So you're gearing up. You've got a bunch of specials. Tell us what you're offering on Super Bowl Sunday.
Always fun to be creative. So we have a homemade chili that actually won second and third place at the Parks and Recreation Chili Cook-Off last fall. So that will be served in homemade bread bowls with a side salad. We also do a family package. So it'll be a 16-inch cheese and a 16-inch pepperoni, a dozen garlic knots, and an order of wings. And that can be for dine-in or takeout or delivery. And we also, wings are really popular at our place. We have some great wings with six homemade sauces.
Wow.
So there's going to be a special on wings as well. And we still have our daily specials, and then we do have a couple of beer specials as well.
Right. And do you expect a big crowd on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, our Sundays are generally kind of busy.
They are,
so
yeah.
I expect so too.
And people don't have to come to the restaurant. They can call ahead and just pick it up
or get delivered.
Or get delivered. That is amazing. Good.
Thank you.
Check out Ramunto's restaurants, 2 locations in Claremont for all your Super Bowl food.
Now let's continue with the final chapter of my ski lesson at Mount Sunapee. Today I'm done with the magic carpet and moving on to the ski lift up the mountain. My final run of the day would take me up the ski lift to the top of the mountain. As we rode up the lift, Kyle talked and joked with me to calm my nerves.
My wife, unbeknownst to me, over dinner one night, she goes, "Oh, by the way, we're getting a puppy." And my hand's right here if you need it. Ready? Stand up. All right. And it's kind of a slow day up here. Okay. Let's use the whole trail.
Okay.
All the way to the right, all the way to the left.
Okay.
As we began our descent, Kyle reminded me of the basics we had learned earlier to safely navigate the trail.
Awesome.
When the slope became more crowded, I got nervous, but Kyle saw my worries and waited with me to the side until the trail cleared. After beginning again, I confidently headed down the slope, gaining momentum and experience with each turn.
Good job, Rose. And on the hill, if you ever feel yourself getting out of control, we just keep going this way. Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
The next hill down, Kyle had me move my arms in sequence with each turn to keep my position balanced and my movements smooth.
Go get that left hand up. Your other left.
Oh my God.
See what it does with... Yeah.
I learned so much from one lesson with Kyle. He helped me achieve all of my goals, and most importantly, I had fun.
Yeehaw! Awesome job. Thanks for skiing with me.
I had a lot of fun learning to ski with my instructor, Kyle. Now I feel confident that I can go back and ski the slopes as long as I have a patient friend to go with me. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow we're expecting snow showers with highs in the upper 30s and a low of 31 degrees. Sunday, you might need an umbrella because we're expecting rain showers with a high of 42 degrees and lows in the 20s. Monday and Tuesday will be cloudy with highs in the 30s and lows down to 13 degrees. Wednesday, we're expecting snow with a high of 31 degrees and lows in the mid-teens. Don't forget, tomorrow is the last day of the New London Winter Carnival. Be sure to check out the variety of fun offered, including the fruit cake toss, ski joring on the green, a dog sledding demo, and Winter Carnival Parade. And now, let's take a look at high school sports results from last night. The Woodstock Wasps girls basketball team took on Poultney. It was a close game. The Wasps were able to increase their score, passing Pulteney after halftime. The Wasps won the game 42-39. They increased their record to 4 wins and 10 losses. They will welcome Green Mountain School on Monday. In boys hockey, it was Lebanon facing off against Alvine. Lebanon led for most of the game, but Alvine made a few power play goals, prompting Lebanon to step up their defense until the game was over. Lebanon proved victorious. The final score was 4-3. Lebanon, who has a 3-6-1 record, will face off against Goffstown on Friday. Now we're offering a special giveaway of skiing and riding tickets from 2 popular New Hampshire resorts, Mount Sunapee and Ragged Mountain. The first person to email us asking for the tickets will be the winner. We will give you 2 free lift tickets. You just have to choose the resort that you want. Send us an email at news@ycnnow.com for a chance to win.
And thank you for joining us for this Friday edition of YCN News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And you can watch our programs anytime online at www.ycnnow.com. I'm Rose Spillman for YCN, your local view. Good night.